All right, everybody, welcome back to Dad and Daughters Collectibles. Today, I'm going to do a non-opening and talk about how I buy on eBay. I have spent a good part of the last couple months getting back into the eBay game, understanding it a little bit more. I used to buy and sell Magic the Gathering probably 10 years ago and was fairly successful at just funding my hobby that way. Never made millions of dollars or anything, but was able to understand the market, know where I needed to buy cards, sell them either back on eBay or to dealers for a good price, and kind of use that money to keep going. I've been starting to do that with sports cards, and I'm going to show you my tips, techniques, and how I do it. Again, I'm not doing this full time, I have a full time job, uh, but it helps me make a little bit of extra money so that I can keep doing this along with pumping in a little extra money from our normal paychecks each month and doing a few other things so that we can do this because I'm really enjoying it and the ups and the downs and learning all of it and figuring out where my niche is in this hobby. So I am going to share my tips and again, these are things I've learned over the years along with coming back to the hobby. um, what I think you need to do to be successful at this. So the first thing is to understand what kind of buyer you are. I am the third category. I want to flip cards generally. I do keep some for my PC if they're the right cards for me, and I'll go into that. But understanding why you want to buy on eBay. And I've sort of categorized buyers as three types. The first is the I want it buyer. These are the people with generally a lot of funds. They are they know the card exists. They're going to go out, they're going to find it, they're going to buy it within a few days because they're not interested in shopping around. If that's a $250 card and there's one for 275 or 300, they don't care too much. They just want the card, they're going to buy it at that price. Great. That is a type of buyer. I think that's a pretty small percentage of buyers, but they exist. The second, and this is where most people I think exist, is the I want it, but at a good price. People on a budget, people who are again, they want to get that. They have. It's generally people on a budget, right? They're. I don't have infinite money to spend. There are a few cards I want, a few players I want. They may be looking for a specific set, specific player, specific team. I'll get into some of that as well. So they're doing it for PC. They also may be doing it for investing. This is a player I think is going to have a really good career. I could buy this card for $25, but I'd rather wait to see if I can get it for 15 and just hold on to it for a long time and maybe sell it in a few years when it's 50. Maybe it stays in my collection forever. So people who are just bargain hunting for the cards they want at a good price. Then there's a third type, which is generally where I fall, which is I want it to flip it. So I'm looking to resell cards. I'm looking for cards that are below where I think the market is on that card. I want to buy that card. I want it shipped to me. I'm going to put it back up on my eBay store. One, because I have a good reputation, I have a good seller rating. Again, that may factor into somebody buying the card. I may also look at that card, and if it's raw, I may want to grade it. So I may even try to get more money out of that card. I've not been super successful at that. Every card I've purchased, I've generally not, I don't think I've gotten one graded yet because I think I've always found some reason to not get it graded. But they are all generally near mint cards that, again, maybe have some small centering issue or something like that. Point is, I'm looking for cards that are far enough below market value that after you factor in fees and everything else, I can still make a profit on. And I'll get to that piece now. So, flipping, it's much harder than it used to be. Shipping costs are up. You used to be able to ship a card for under a buck. You still sort of can with a stamp, but I've had a few people with stamp cards under $5 and they say they never got it. Whether they did or not, I don't know. It's just easiest to issue a refund at that point. There is an option on eBay to have cheap $1.25 shipping with a tracking number. If you ship just sort of in an envelope, that's the way I've been going for cards over $10. Anything over $20, I ship in a padded envelope. It's about $4, $4.50 to ship that. It's with the tracking, with full tracking number, extra protection in the padded envelope to make sure that card gets there. There's taxes and everything as well. So when I was doing this 10 to 15 years ago, state governments were just getting into taxing, sort of the internet at that point. Uh, but now everything's taxed. So if you buy a $20 card, oh, that's going to be a 21 something dollar card with tax plus shipping. So suddenly 10 years ago, we might be buying a card for $20 plus a buck 50 shipping and 21.50. Maybe that card now to get everything is going to be in the 25 to 30 range. And if you're hoping to sell it for 35, your margin is gone. So the last, which gets into my last bullet point, which is understand what you want your margin to be on cards. Are you okay with a $10 profit on a card? Are you okay with a 20? Are you okay with a 30? For some people, that's not worth their time. In general, I'm looking for, I would say anything under $20, I'm looking to get double. So if I buy a $7 card, I want to profit $7 on that card. Again, not very much, but you do that 3 or 4 times, that's a blaster box, or that's another set of cards I can flip with. I bought a few bigger cards that are over $100, and on those, I'm really looking for 30, 40, 50 or more dollars on it. So, for example, if I can hold it up here, this is up by the time this gets posted. Hopefully, it's sold, but I found this on a Buy It Now. I'll show you um, how I found it here in a second. For I think 170 or 175, and the market on that card is between 230 and 250. So again, after fees and everything, I should be able to make 30 or $40 on that card. Basically, I'm being paid for someone to ship that card to me, put it up in eBay, be patient, and someone to buy it from me and make that money. Some people, again, that's not worth it for me. It all funds my hobby. I have fun with it. There's risk, of course. It could get lost in the mail. You got to buy insurance, all that sort of stuff. But again, generally, that's a very small percentage of things you do. If you don't want that risk, don't do it. I'm willing to take on that risk because, again, generally it works out. So, okay, so that's kind of the details. Let me get into, if you're taking notes, now's the time. This is where I'm going to get into the 4 searches I have up when I am actively looking to buy cards. And I'll go through those first, and I'll go through them with a specific player, and then I'll go through uh, some nuances and variations of this. So the first is an eBay search for, in this case, a specific player, Paul Skeens. When I do the search, I'll refresh it here in a second. Um, I turn on auctions and I turn on time ending soonest. So this is going to show me every auction with a with Paul Skeens. It's generally going to be cards. You might see some jerseys and stuff in there, but it's generally going to be trading cards, auctions, and they're ending the soonest, meaning they're ending. I'm going to refresh here right now, and you will see this one has 3 minutes left. So this is showing me everything that's ending, and I can go down from there: 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 10 minutes, etc. And this is where you need to understand the market for a player or what you're searching for, because what you're looking for here are cards that are underpriced. I chose Paul Skeens because he's not someone I'm watching for, but he's somebody you might want to do this for. So I don't know much about Paul Skeens' market, but what you're looking for here are, you should over time learn approximately what Paul Skeens cards are worth. And there's a lot of them. So there's a lot you have to study and watch and go through sold auctions, et cetera, et cetera. Because not only do you have to worry about graded cards, you have to worry about parallels, numbered parallels, graded cards. You gotta know a little bit about it. You don't have to know exact, so I don't need to know that. Well, this card in a PSA 9 is actually a $17 card. I don't necessarily need to know that, but I need to have a ballpark of what that card should go for. And then what I'm doing is looking at these auctions that are ending soonest, and I am looking for cards that are underpriced, sometimes significantly underpriced. And I'm going to go through and I am going to put a bid of what I am comfortable to pay for that card. It is not my job to worry about what the seller gets for the card. If you've done eBay for any amount of time and you've done auctions like this, you'll know that sometimes you get more than market value and sometimes you get less. As someone who sold stuff on eBay and gotten less than you thought you should get, it sucks. But that's the name of the game. All I can do is put in the bid what I'm comfortable bidding for it. And if it wins, it wins. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I would say 19 times out of 20, I don't get the card. Again, I'm looking to flip. So I'm putting in fairly low bids, but occasionally you hit these cards. And that's where, kind of the fun is for me. It's like, hey, I got this card on a really good deal. And then I get it. And what do I want to do with it? Flip it, keep it, etc. So I'm looking through what's ending, what is underpriced, and what am I going to put a bid on, and what is that bid going to be? So let's take a look. Let's just take a look at a card. This one ends in 43 minutes. It's a PSA 10, Paul Skeens, my first Bowman. Looks like maybe some sort of parallel as well. Looks like, oh, it's just my first Bowman. Chrome. Again, I don't know anything about this card. So I will show you the process I would go through. Well, okay, so let's go. Hey, I like this card. I want to buy it to try to flip it. It's a gem in 10. Great. That means it can't be any worse, right? It's going to have a pretty stable market. So what do I do at that point? Well, I've got these other windows open and I'll get to this one here in a second. This is Paul Skeen's sold cards. So what I can do here is find this 2024 Bowman Chrome, my first Bowman PSA 10. My first Bowman. Someone's already done this search, not me. It's just eBay doing this. So here we go. Here is a My First Bowman that sold on a buy it now for 92.25. Here's one that sold for 80. Here's one that sold for 108, 110, 95, 80, 70. Pretty good. Well, no, and that's a little different. So again, you got to look. This one's a little different. This one doesn't have the whatever that mojo type variation is. Make sure you're always looking like for like. You don't want to you can make a very big mistake if you buy the wrong card in the wrong parallel and it's not like for like. So from what I'm seeing here, and that's an orange. So again, why is this one 500? Well, this is an orange variation to 25. So from what I'm seeing, it looks like this card, and again, maybe I've got this wrong in a quick search, is anywhere from 80 to about 110 to 115. Your top end is 110. So you can't assume if you buy this card, you're going to get 110 for it. You really got to look at this and go, I have a good I have a good reputation as a seller. Uh, my realistically, if I buy this card, given these last sales here, I'll probably put it up for about $100 and see if I can get a bite. I'll probably put best offer 90. Okay, so now I've established what would I sell that card for after eBay fees, which is like 10 to 12%. That means if I sell that card for 100, I'm going to get 90 for it. Let's go back to the card. Card's currently listed at $47. 41 minutes to go. It is really critical to look at shipping. I'm not actually going to place a bid, but I will show you again the process here. 414 for shipping. So right now, this is not a $47 card. This is a $51 card. So now I got to ask myself if I'm going to put it up for 100 and take 90 the first time I do this. And again, I may not sell it at those prices. I may need to go to 80 to sell it, right? But that's my starting point. How much would I pay? What is the margin I want on this card? And that's where I would put in a bid. So if I was looking at this card right now and I thought I was going to buy it, my bid, I'm not going to because I'm not going to buy it, would be about $56. I also always do something like this, 56.75. The reason I do that is because a lot of people use even numbers. So I'll pay $56. And missing on a card for 75 cents usually isn't worth it, right? So I'll put in 56.75 because that way if I'm the other person who I bid against is trying to do the same thing as me and they're coming to the same conclusions and they're putting 56 gives me a little bit of an edge and I actually win auctions this way fairly often. So put in that little extra over the top, that 25, that 50, that 75 cents because every once in a while it helps you get the auction and win it. So this is where I would be on this card based on what I saw. And this would give me, if I sell it in that $100 to $90 range, $20 to $30 profit. Now, there's 39 minutes left on this. Most bids happen in the last minute, oftentimes in the last 10 seconds. So you can never be sure you're going to get it. I typically do not bid in the last 10 seconds. I look at where I want to be, I put in this bid, and I walk away. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. There's no reason to me to get caught up in the hoopla of the, oh, geez, I could pay $1 more and get it. I could pay $2 more. Because that's when all of a sudden your margin shrinks, right? And so this is how I would go about buying a card like this. So let me go back to close this out. So then what I will do is for a player I'm watching or I know or I have a fair idea what the market is, I will go through and I will look at every auction that ends, let's say, today. I'll even go through in a 24-hour period. You go, that's a lot of auctions to look through. It is a lot of auctions to look through. Most of the time, you're going to scroll past most of these cards anyways. So you just kind of scroll through. You're looking for, oh, this one looks interesting. Let me take a look, right? Or this is one that specifically I'm looking for. And you can generally go pretty quick. If I go to page 9 here, 9 hours and 56 minutes. So this is going to be, 8 o'clock tonight. Again, most auctions, I'm Central Time. Most auctions end between about 7 and 7 and 11 Central. That's when most people are home from work and looking to buy. And then it dries up overnight, very little, and then you'll see it pick up throughout the day. So I've probably got, if I were doing Paul Skeens, for example, I would have to go through 50 auctions per page, I believe, 60 per page. If I get to page 13 here, that takes me still to tonight. So I've got to go through 600 or 700 auctions. I know it seems daunting. It goes faster than you think, especially when you learn the market. Again, you're going to scroll past most of these folks. So auctions is one of the way. You put in your bid, you figure out what you can sell it for, you walk away. Do not get caught up in the hoopla, the last minute bidding. You get it or you don't. Just walk away. Great. The second way to get a great deal for a card to flip, again, this could be for any of the cases. I want it for my PC, I want to hold it, invest, etc., or flip, is this other search. I'm looking at Paul Skeens, buy it now, newly listed. So these are people who are putting up cards right now with buy it nows or best offers. And you can snag some really good deals this way. You have to be fast and you have to be on top of it. You can set up save searches, and if you're looking, and again, you can't really do show me every time a Paul Skeens shows up for a buy it now. You're going to get notifications all day. But if you're looking for a specific card, you can set a search for that and it'll notify you. So if you're looking for a specific card at a certain price, you can do a save search that way. And if you're interested in that, I can maybe do a video on that. But I don't, I usually just look at what I'm a generalist. I'm not looking necessarily for a specific card. I'm looking for value anywhere I can find it. So if I'm looking for Paul Skeens, I'm going to scroll through here and look at the last 5 to 10, maybe 15 auctions. If somebody puts one up that is underpriced, I'm not the only one doing this. It's going to be gone in 5 to 10 minutes. I'm not going to find anything that's been up for an hour or two that's like a 50% off card. Those go in the first 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm looking at the top here. It's something where I got a TV over here. I'm going to be watching TV. Maybe I'm folding some laundry, and I'm going to refresh this page every 5 minutes and see if anything cool comes along the way. I showed you that Caitlin Clark earlier. That's how I got this. It came up. It was the first hit on the top. It was posted within a minute or two of me seeing it. 170, 174, something like that. Looked at the comps, card that sold for 230 to 250, snapped it up. um so this is the other way. You have to be, this is a much more active one, whereas the auction you can kind of go through once for a 24-hour period, put your bids in, walk away, and you're done for 24 hours. This is one where you got to be kind of actively doing it. But again, why do people do this? One, they don't know the price. Two, and I think this is more common, they need money fast. uh if you got a $250 card and you want to have $150 in your pocket tomorrow for whatever you need it for, pay a bill, go on a dinner date, whatever that is, you can put up a card that's $250 for 175 and it's going to sell within an hour and those funds will come from eBay within 24 hours. That's so people deliberately undersell, and again, sometimes they don't know. Do I feel bad because they didn't know? Yeah, a little bit. But if I'm not the one buying it, somebody else is going to be buying it. So it's sort of, you have to be a little cold in all of this. The third window I have open is this one, which is, and this again goes for specific cards. So let's go to that My First Bowman. Um, so if I'm looking at buying that card, the one we looked at that was 47, um, I have a search open for the buy it now price, price plus shipping lowest first. So right now in a PSA 10, the exact same My First Bowman that we have sales for right here for between 80 and 110. The cheapest one on eBay right now is $200. So again, that reaffirms that if I'm going to put in a bid for 60 or 70, $60, I think is what I said on that card with the shipping, that I'm good because I'm going to come in and I'm going to blow this price out of the water. I'm going to put it up for $100. And if somebody's looking for this card and the first two you see is mine for 99 and that one for 199, I've got a really good chance of selling that card for that person who wants it for their PC, right? Now, when do I get a little hesitant? When might I not put in that $60 bid? If there's 20 of these cards out there for between 80 and $100 right now, well, that means if I want to flip that card fast, I'm gonna have to come in lower than the lowest, right? So that means I'd have to come in at 80 or below, and suddenly my margin shrinks significantly at that point, right? So again, when I talk about candidates for a card in a specific auction, again, I may not get that card for $60, but that's where I'm going to put my bid in. That would be a good one to get because I can come in and as soon as I get that card, I'm going to be the lowest price on eBay. And hopefully that means I can get a quick sale for a flip. So having this window open is also part of the buying process because again, if there's huge competition for that card at a specific price point, it's going to be harder for you to move it. And then the last one I have here is that sold one. So again, this is really your bread and butter. You can put a card up for whatever price you want. You have to understand what the market is for a card. If the last sales for a card, and again, you also have to look at sold dates. So this one was May 4th, April 30th, April 29th. So these are all very recent sales. Sometimes you might get a sale that's 2 months old. Markets can shift at that point. All very recent sales, 80, 95, 110. That's my range. That's where I'm very likely to sell that card. There's no reason for me to think I can buy that card and see the buy it now for 199 over there and think I'm going to put up a 150 and get it. You have other people know how to do this too. They're looking at the market. They're generally not going to pay double, but they might pay 100. Heck, you might even just go, geez, next one is 199. Maybe I'll put it up for 110 with a 95 best offer. Lot of ways to go about it, depending on how patient you are, how quickly you want to flip it. But you have to understand what a card is selling for, because if you overestimate what a card is worth, you are not going to be able, at least on the flipping side, not be able to do it. If you're buying it for yourself, buying it for your PC, great, doesn't matter, right? But if you're looking to flip, you need to understand what the market says a card is worth. So that is how, I mean, realistically, that is how I do all my buying and selling. I haven't shown you any of the players I'm looking for. You can probably guess looking at my channel and what we collect, who we're looking for, but I'll leave that for you to do the detective work. One other thing you can do, and I will show you, this is one that I actively search for and do bidding on, is I really like the WNBA Select set. I can just type in WNBA Select because there is only one Select set at this point. Next year there'll probably be a 2025 set, and then I'll have to do a year, etc. But right now there's only 2024 WNBA Select. And what I'll do is I'll go through just like this and look for what's out there. And this is actually one of my favorite ones to search for because there are so many different variations and cards that I wouldn't buy. Again, if you're thinking WNBA, you're probably thinking a few players: Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, etc. But you'll see these cards out there. Here's a PSA 9 25 to 25 tie dye. This is just a sweet card. Look at how sweet this card looks. Am I going to put a bid in on this? Probably not. But if this card goes for less than $20, even in a PSA 9, that's an awesome card to have for $20. It's $20 to get it graded. So you're basically getting the card for free and you're getting a PSA 9 version of it. Is Alyssa Smith a great name? Not necessarily, but I love going through and looking at all just the different cards. And you can pick up, here's 1 to 49 in a PSA 10. Again, is Jackie Young a big name in the WNBA? No, she's not. But this is a PSA 10. It's 15.95 right now, and where's the shipping? 425. So it's the cost to grade the card right now is what you're paying for it. So it's like you waited, you sent it to PSA, you got the card for free, sent it to PSA, and all you did was pay the grading fee. Again, is Jackie Young a big name? No. It's a PSA 10. There are collectors looking to collect this set. If you could get this for 15.95, I don't know what this will end up selling for. My guess is it's actually going to sell for between 20 and 25 based on my knowledge, and pay the $4 shipping. You might be able to put this up for $40 and make a little bit of money on it. So, but to me, again, it gives me the option. This is more the PC side of me, is what are some cool cards that I would pay 20 or $30 for, or 10 or $15 for? Because to me, it's really, I have more of these cards in my collection than I do um, some of the big name players who I flip more often, who are more liquid. We can talk about liquidity at some point as well. How quickly you move a card. If you have a $150 card, but you can't sell it for 6 months because the market for that player, person, set, etc., is low, maybe you don't want that, right? Whereas someone like a Caitlin Clark, a Paul Skeens, a Jackson Churio, whoever, those cards are selling all the time, and there's people looking for them all the time. And if you price it correctly, you're going to move that card really quick, and that's really important if you're doing flipping. So again, this is another thing I do. I go out and look at WNBA Select. You can pick your set: Heritage, baseball, Optic, football. Most people are looking for Jaden Daniels. Most people are looking for Caleb Williams, right? Their favorite player. But you can find these really cool low numbered parallels for super cheap. Here's a Ivana Doke. I love the way the white prisms look. I've considered maybe even trying to get the white prism set because I think they're awesome. They're 99. White is the color, and then they usually have like a team color match on it. So it's just, to me, it's an aesthetically beautiful card. Um, 99 cents plus two, so $4. Like if I'm trying to complete the set, I'm gonna find much better deals doing it this way than I am if I go out and try to find this and I buy it now. It's probably gonna be $7, $8, $9, $10. If I can get this for a buck 25 or something like that. Again, this is where that bidding comes in. If I put in 99 cents, almost certainly someone's gonna come here in the next hour and put it in for a buck 25 and get it. But most people who are doing the same thing I do are doing the exact same thing. Somebody wants this for under $2. If I put in $1.75, chances are I'm gonna get it. So anyways, this is another thing you can do. Look for these cool parallels. They may be players you're not as well versed in, but again, that's where you can do your checking. Here's a cool Subert. Now, am I going to pay $7 for this? I don't know, but it's to 149. It's a purple. She's a legend. I could come over here and see what other people are paying for it in the sold listings and do the same. So that is how I do this. And when I have time, I really enjoy it. Some people, if you don't enjoy this sort of thing, again, it's not for you. I enjoy value hunting, bargain hunting. It's like going to a flea market for me. And it's something I know a little bit about. And I have a lot of fun with it. And again, I've picked up cards that I wasn't even looking to pick up. I picked up exact cards I was looking for, and I have a lot of fun. And if it's something you would find fun, this is how I do it. Feel free to copy. Feel free to post if there's something you do that I don't do that you think I should be doing, because I'm always looking for ways to get better at this as well. So let me know what you think. If you like stuff like this, I'll do more videos like this. I can also show you even, some of the cards I bought, how I made some of those decisions. I can go into this more if that's something you find interesting. Um, all of our auctions, anything we're flipping is out there. There's a link in the description to look through what we've opened and bought and see what's for sale. That's one of the best ways to support the channel, in addition to liking and subscribing. So if you like what you saw here, give us a like and subscribe. I can do more of this sort of content, especially if you leave a comment saying, hey, I love this, give me some more of this. I will be happy to do this on a more regular basis. So, with that said, I will sign off at this point. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, any comments, leave them there and I will answer. And as always, remember, girls are collectors too.